Seminole Airport Authority. Roll call, Jay.
Jeff Griffin, Bill Waltman, Tim Poplin.
Here.
Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Chris Hansen.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson, Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
All right, do I have a motion for consideration and action of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Ray, Jay?
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Hansen.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, if there are no appearances or petitions from the audience for the Airport Authority, can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, I'll move on to the Seminole Gas Authority. Jay, roll call.
John Kramer.
Here.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson. Bill Waltman. Jeff Griffin. Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Chris Hansen.
Here.
Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
Okay, can I get a motion for consideration and action of the consent
So
agenda?
moved.
Second.
Jay, roll call.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Chris Hansen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Seminole Gas Authority? Okay, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, call to order the Seminole Utilities Authority. Jay, roll call.
Dee Dee Patterson. John Kramer.
Here.
Chris Hansen.
Here.
Bill Waltman. Jeff Griffin. Tim Poplin.
Here.
Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
Can I get a consideration and action of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Jay?
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Hansen.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the, I'm sorry, we have an addendum for that. Under approvals and acceptances on the addendum, number 1, consideration and possible action to approve the claim from Calca Construction Company for refurbishment of the clarifier at the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $56,500 to be paid from Series 2010 non-bonded proceeds. The original budget amount is $55,000, or a variance of $1,500, or 2.7%. That's within the legal, right? The 2.7?
Say
More
that
than
again,
10.
I'm sorry.
That's within the legal change order amount or increase on a contract, right?
Yes.
Didn't we talk about this before?
Yeah, this is just paying the guy after we contracted with him.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jay, roll call?
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Hansen.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Discussion of possible action regarding the water leak in the 600 block of Milton Phillips.
Must be close to silage.
It is. As you know, it's been leaking there for quite a while. Several years ago, maybe 3, we actually decided we were going to find out what was going on there. We've had experience before. If you remember back when we went down where the pawn shop was, we started punching holes trying to find a water leak next to the old Bosco Joe's, and went all the way north almost to Seminole Cleaners to find the place. So we were worried that might be happening again. We brought out a leak detection service. They stayed up till 4 a.m. in the morning listening for the water leak, trying to find where that thing was, and we still have not found it. We're still not certain that it's not groundwater. Here's where we're at. ODOT is ready to repair the line, ready to repair the road, but we are going to have to prove that it is groundwater before they'll do that. So we're going to be looking for you guys to help us in the line repair of the. We're going to tear it up, find out if it is in fact a line repair. You think ODOT's going to come back and help us, or is that all on us? The road repair as well.
Actually, we're going to move it.
The line.
We're going to move the line over into the sidewalk.
Right. But I'm talking about the road repair. we're not gonna get any help unless it's groundwater, right?
Actually, on the road repair, they're gonna start in a couple, 3 months. They're gonna start,
But they're not gonna do it unless we do the line repair.
they got
Okay.
scheduled this year for an overlay.
Right.
They won't do it unless we fix that.
Okay.
It's immediately.
So we are going to get the overlay, but they want that line repaired before they do it. So if we don't get the line repaired, you know, they're telling us that we're not gonna get the overlay on Milt Phillips that we want. I wish I could tell you that it's gonna be a quick repair, that we'll get in there and the leak will be right where the spot is in the road. But our experience tells us that sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes we have to chase it. So it may be that we get some transportation issues, a blocked road for a while until we can find what's going on with that. But it is time for that to get fixed. So,
There's no way to cut off, you know, turn some valves somewhere and see if it stops leaking or anything like that?
well, the problem with that is there's no consistent leak. I mean, it's not like it's bubbling up like a normal line break would show you, kind of, you can trace it. It's nothing like that. I mean, it may not leak in front of Pam Robinson and leak in front of Sonic for 2 days, and then it quits in front of Sonic, and then it's back down by the print company for 2 days. We're fairly certain it's groundwater, but we won't know until we actually get into the line and can tell what's happening.
I've got a question for Mr. Grant. Is a sand rock underneath that pretty close, back toward the west, where it could be running from a different line somewhere and going
No,
east?
but it is bedded in sand. But what that pipe is 16-inch ductile iron, and at every one of the joints, which are 13 feet apart, where the bells slide together. Years ago, they used to take lead and lead joint all that pipe. So what happens over a period of time, like Steve said, the ground settles and it shifts, dries up, and when it expands and contracts, it pulls that pipe loose from that joint, then you get a leak there. Well, a month later, the ground shifts again, seals itself up. But we've had 5 leaks from Pam Robinson's to Sooner Press. We've repaired 5. And those clamps, we have to have them special made for that 16-inch bell, are $3,500 piece. And they're every 13 foot.
Is there a way that they could sleeve that for a block or two?
Well, what we like to do is go from this side of the Sonic, there's a valve in the road. We like to go from there to Walnut. And that 16-inch line turns and goes up Walnut to the water tower. We've fixed the line in the park where it goes up to the water tower. We fixed that about 7 times, some bells leaking. So we want to remove the ductile off of Walnut, put C900 plastic pipe in there, do away with that ductile. But then in the highway, we like to put ductile iron back, but put it in the sidewalk
Why ductile?
because of the weight of the traffic and the shifting, with the heavy trucks coming. When we were there today, when the heavy trucks would come by, especially the loaded ones, they would actually, you could see water shoot up about that high out of some of the hose. And we tested for chlorine to determine, to see if it is, but, sometimes by the time it goes through the sand, it could be taking the chlorine out of it. So the only way we're gonna know is get in there, dig it up, find out what's wrong.
Can you give them a cost range, guessing?
Pick a number.
80,000.
Or 160, we're not sure.
Where would that come from?
Councilman's salaries would be my recommendation, but
It'll cover a bit of that cost.
we'll probably end up in the 2010 bond non-bonded account.
We are gonna get, close to $500,000 or more overlay out of it.
Yeah,
Just
it's
up in
more.
Phillips alone.
Something's gotta be done, then, it sounds like.
Well, two, and we know that problem exists there, and we need to get it fixed. So if something happens in the future,
Yeah, I have to take a long way home when I wash my car.
Those chuggles get bad there. I saw.
Yes,
that.
they
do.
One at one time.
They sure do.
So do
I
you
make
need,
a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
what are we approving though? Are we just to do the
Oh, just
repairs? or-
discussion?
We're gonna,
let's discuss.
what I'd like to do is go ahead and approve the repairs on the 600 block of Milt Phillips and surrounding area, surrounding Pam Robinson Sonic area, for up to $80,000 in the first phase out of 2010 bond money that is not budgeted. Does that cover you? Okay.
Anybody want to make a motion for what he said?
Come out of their salaries? Is that what he said?
Yeah,
That's what.
I'll make a motion.
It's coming out of the greater fund.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. Comes out of Jay's expense account.
Jay, roll call.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, and I did skip the appearances or petitions. Is there anybody here on behalf of the Utilities Authority? Nope. Not going to get a motion to adjourn.
I move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll now call to order the Seminole City Council. Roll call, Jay.
Chris Anson,
Here.
Dee Patterson, Stephanie Lambert,
Here.
Larry Church.
Sure.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Bill Wantland, John Kramer,
Here.
Jeff Griffin, Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
All right, if everyone could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever. Amen.
First item is consideration and action of the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jay, roll call.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, on approvals and acceptances on the addenda, we have, so I skipped over something.
Appearances.
Yeah, I did appearances. Oh, I'm looking on the wrong thing, that's why.
Appointments and elections?
Yeah, appointment elections, that's what I meant. It's on the wrong page. Yes, that's, consideration and possible action by an aye or nay vote to approve the following mayoral appointees to a pool committee for making recommendations regarding a new aquatic center. Secret Howard, Michelle Sneed, Matt Gates, Chris Anson, Lauren Schatzel, Susan Kemp, Kaylin Davis, Kim Crabtree, and Tracy Giacomo.
Stand by. Sharon got some recent input. Do we want to take some of these names off? Susan Kemp decided she did not want to serve, right? Yes, but has the mayor cleared that? Okay. We don't, go ahead.
I think we need to do these individually. I just feel better about it if we do those individually.
Okay. All
I
right, so-
suggest if you just want to take one at a time, unless there's any removed, and then if there's anybody who wants to be added later, we can do that.
Okay, all right. First up, Secret Howard.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Oh, that's all we have to do. What, I need a motion in a second
No,
first?
you can do it that way.
Okay, all right. Michelle Sneed,
Aye.
Aye. Matt Gates,
Aye.
Chris Anson,
Aye.
nays. Lauren Schatzel,
Aye. Aye.
Kalen Davis,
Aye.
Aye.
Kim Crabtree,
Aye.
Tracy Giacomo.
Aye.
All right, and was there anybody else we needed to add?
Not that the mayor has cleared, no, sir.
Okay. All right, under presentations, we have Walter Floyd from Traffic Lighting to discuss and answer questions from the council members regarding signal light options.
Yeah, let me give a little preface. Go, if you don't mind, come on up. And Sharon's got your PowerPoint stuff ready to fly, I believe. Just a little bit of background. You guys are aware that we've been looking at the signal light situations, especially with regard to Highway 9 and 99. We've met with these guys for a couple of times now. They're first class. We've been real fortunate to have them. When things haven't worked, they've been quick to come back and say, this didn't work, we're going to fix it. So we're real pleased, but we've got some things going on in town that some things are aging out, some things are not working. You guys had mentioned at one of our previous council meetings that you would like to see the light in front of Brahms delayed a little bit longer between the green and the red turn, so that maybe we can slow some of that truck traffic and reduce the accidents, especially the severity of the accidents. So we thought it would be good if you guys could hear it straight from them. And he's been kind enough to come spend a Tuesday evening with us, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to be here. Worked with Mike for several years now. We're Signal Tech is our maintenance business and traffic and lighting systems. My name's Walter Floyd. We're out of Oklahoma City. We have an office in Tulsa and Springdale, Arkansas. We've got about 100 employees, and we've been in business since 1982. We take care of a lot of cities' traffic signals, and we're not engineers, but we have highly trained installers and technicians and personnel. So I thought I don't have anything specific prepared other than maybe to answer questions and provide some budgetary guidance and talk about specifically the intersection at Highway 9 and Mill Phillips by Brahms.
Right.
Is that correct? Yeah. Wrangler and Mill Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we could watch that first video. At that intersection, we have loops, correct, Mike?
Yes.
We have loops and a controller, and a slightly dated controller. This radar detection that I'm about to show you, we would recommend confidently. We would recommend it over the video that we've discussed previously. We're in it for the long term, so I would lead with what we feel the best, quoting you guys, that's going to provide long-term value and performance. And let's watch this video.
Walter, could I hit pause for just a second? Could you give us a little bit higher view of what is a traffic signal? When you said controller, I don't know that most lay people don't even know what that is. So can you give us a more of a general perspective, and then we can go into...
Definitely. The traffic signal intersection consists of your underground and your above ground. You've got pipe, conduit, PVC conduit running under the road, and that has your wire going to each pole. And then above ground, you've got your controller cabinet, which is where the equipment is that is receiving the inputs from the field, the loops in the road. They detect when a car goes over it, and it sends a call to the controller. Then you've got your poles and your arms, and you have wire in those. So that's kind of the infrastructure of an intersection. And then each intersection is installed at a different time and has different challenges. Some are bigger than others. In this case, it's a big intersection for you guys.
So you're saying that there's a big vault sitting there, and does that control timing and things like that?
Yes, sir. And the controller is the, let's say, computer inside that cabinet, that aluminum cabinet, and it is receiving the inputs that it has available to it from the intersection, which in this case would be the loops, the wire that is cut into the road, which those are functioning. Most of those are functioning.
ODOT sets the standards for the
Yes.
time delays.
We
on
did
the
verify
roads.
that, I believe what that contract on that ODOT job that installed that intersection, that we verified what timing was programmed in the controller when that accident happened, and it was as it was supposed to be. So in this case, we're about to show you really the radar detection. It is a detection technology that is based on, this would be the best case scenario for this intersection when taking into account detection and safety. It is going to use radar to continuously shoot to detect motorists at the stop bar and for the left turns. And it's also going to have a sensor that is continually shooting out ahead with a radar beam, let's say. And the processor in the controller is going to be continually calculating estimated time of arrival for cars. It can see those cars, and it's going to know how fast they're going, how many there are, how quickly they're going to get to that intersection. So with this technology, you're going to have, your loops are working, so we haven't heard any complaints about detection. But this system, coupled with an upgrade to the computer controller to a new ATC, Advanced Traffic Controller, that would give that intersection the ability to continually be detecting and extend those green times when appropriate and adapt to real-time traffic conditions.
So if, for example, we had a northbound truck heading at 55 miles an hour and there doesn't happen to be a police officer to stop him, this radar will calculate, before it allows the other east-west traffic to turn green, it will calculate that, you know what, that truck's going to have a tough time stopping in time, and would keep that from happening a little bit longer.
It would extend the green up to a maximum of 6 seconds. It'll hold it 6 seconds longer.
Okay.
It can sense that it's called the limit zone. And so when a truck like that is approaching at a high rate of speed and it senses too fast, it's going to get here too quickly, it can hold it. I believe it's about 6 seconds longer.
That's a lot. That's a
Can it
lot.
mail a ticket out to them?
No.
No.
That's
next.
controversial. Yeah.
That's the next meeting you'll come to.
The red light cameras, those have been challenged in court in some states, but those have been adopted, but, yeah.
From everything I found, the red light cameras don't work in Oklahoma. There's no law supporting them in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah. So, maybe we watch this video. The one that says Wavetronics, it's a pretty quick video.
What town is this in?
This is one of their promotional videos that kind of explains the system. We've had great success, and we're open. I'm not here to sell this system. If we were to look at what's the best technology we could put at that intersection, this is where I would start.
She's got it labeled
Yeah, the smart sensor.
radar vision.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yes.
that the one?
Yes.
The Wavetronics Smart Sensor Matrix has revolutionized non-intrusive vehicle detection at the intersection stop bar. Only Matrix transmits 16 separate high-definition radar beams, and this unique array detects both moving and stopped vehicles, changing the way traffic is seen at the intersection. In low-light conditions, video detection can struggle to resolve traffic. Matrix creates a proprietary two-dimensional image of the intersection approach, known as radar vision, that is unaffected by changes in light. With radar vision, only Matrix tracks each vehicle as it approaches and will continue to see each vehicle even
The bottom
after
right
it's
screen is
stopped.
showing what
Another
the
challenge
radar
for
sees.
non-intrusive detectors is weather. Video can be blinded by dust, fog, rain, sleet, and snow. Radar has a longer wavelength than light, so it isn't as easily affected by bad weather. Matrix's radar vision continues to perform under difficult conditions, seeing vehicles when other technologies cannot. Smart Sensor Matrix is the most reliable, non-intrusive vehicle detection available. It is also one of the easiest intersection devices to install and configure. With auto configuration, user-definable zones, and traffic visualization, shown here to the right, Matrix provides traffic engineers with the reliable data needed to keep drivers moving safely and efficiently through intersections. To learn more about Smart Sensor Matrix and the ways that radar vision can improve the efficiency of your intersections, please visit wavetronics.com.
That was specifically with regard to the stop bar detection. There might be another video that specifically talked about the advanced detection, which in this case would provide what we're talking about here, the limit zone.
So right now, our equipment, we pull up there, it feels us and does the,
Intelligent
we're gonna
intersections
go to,
begin with accurate and reliable vehicle detection. With accurate data, intelligent intersection control systems can respond to actual traffic conditions, giving red and green lights when it's most appropriate in order to maintain a safe and efficient flow of traffic. Reliable stop bar detection is critical for efficient signal operations. The Wavetronics Smart Sensor Matrix is the first radar traffic detector designed specifically for the stop bar, and the only multi-lane traffic radar in the U.S. capable of providing true presence detection of both moving and stopped vehicles. Matrix transmits 16 separate high-definition radar beams to create a 90-degree, 140-foot field of view.
You know, one of our main concerns is, we're putting this Casey's truck stop in, it's coming in the near future. We're gonna start getting more than likely, we're gonna start getting more truck traffic coming to this Casey's. And that's why we're reaching out to these guys, to look at this intersection and see what we can do to improve the safety here. That's one of our main goals.
The infrastructure you have is working for the most part. The loops are working, and and we can work with you and ODOT. We can get an engineer involved to maximize what's there without going to a rather large equipment purchase. Don't want to push that, but this is if you guys really wanted to put the best equipment on the road. And I think it's going to seem high, but this technology, it wouldn't be more than $80,000 installed. So I realize that's a big number. A typical video detection system is less than that. That's a high number. I don't want to tell you something lower, but there would actually be 8 sensors and 2 processors in the cabinet in order to provide everything that we're talking about. So
That particular intersection, it does have the loops. When you come down to Reed and Mill Phillips, it also has the loops. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes if the loops don't work, the timer will kick in and let you go. When you get to Strother and Broadway, or Strother and Mill Phillips, it's on the camera system that these guys installed. And then when you get past that to the other signal lights, they're all just on a timer. It's all they're on. The loops are gone. If you remember here a while back, we actually had to put some overhead wire on one of the signal lights just because all the underground is bad. So,
meaning we can't pull wire through the existing conduit underground. It's
Without
connected
a
in.
board. So we're not looking at a system like this for all the intersections. We would like to look at the possibility of making them all safer.
This
And
might be
that's
the
one of
only
the things
intersection
we'll
in
talk
town
about.
that would be appropriate to do 8 sensors, all the way around, because each approach it's 2 state highways, it's 2 high-speed approaches. Whereas along Mill Phillips, you maybe could just do 2 to detect the side streets. That's, and
So if those detect the side streets, does that let Mill
Yes,
Phillips flow
Mill Phillips
freely
would
when no
free flow.
traffic's there?
And then just on Evans, for example, then just when somebody pulls on the side street, they would get a call to cross the road. And since I'm here, I'd like to apologize for Strother and Mill Phillips. We wouldn't quote that video detection system. Again, I apologize for the time that was down. But thank you for the kind words. We did take care of that for free. We installed another processor in there. So, we take care of you guys' traffic signals, and we just want to provide good advice, and we're not in it for a quick sale. We want to have a long-term relationship and be your traffic signal department. So, the city of Oklahoma City has recently adopted Wavetronics to replace all of their loops. They were loops forever. It works. It's set it and forget it, and it's, I would say confidently, it's a 10-year investment. They're a big time company as well. They do a lot in addition to traffic. They do a lot of detection for tolling and access controls. They're a big, robust company, so I feel very comfortable recommending it to our customers.
Chris, may I ask a question?
Mhm.
When they do this overlay, will that affect the loops, like will they replace
Absolutely.
that stuff?
Absolutely.
So that will all be replaced
Right.
anyway, so it would be a good time to do
That'd be
everything
replaced at
this.
city cost too.
Would it be, or would ODOT have to replace the loops on the approaches that they were to?
They never have in the past.
They haven't. But typically the loops that are still good, maybe some would.
Mike, I wonder if they'd let us cut before they overlay. Would they let us run new conduit?
Yes. Yes, we'd have to bore. We have to bore it, but like we did Strother.
So they won't let us cut it, but they'll let us bore it.
I'm sure they'll let us cut it, no.
Yeah, we need to have conduit under the road to a pull
I see what you're talking about, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's 24 inches thick, 30 inches down here at Broadway and Mill Phillips.
30 inches.
30 inches thick. Like Steve said, we chased that water leak for 2 blocks.
Yep.
I would say what we would recommend is Highway 9 and Highway 99 is a big priority intersection. If we wanted to make an investment there, this is what I recommend, and I think you'd be happy with the performance. It's gonna be a rather big number. The control is not expensive. I bet it might be 80,000. But then at the other intersections around town, we can check those out on a location by location basis, and if you, whatever your budget permits, replace the infrastructure that needs replacing, but not do anything that's not.
I would almost say it's no necessary.
Necessary.
We'll have the post in and that's it.
Yeah.
You'll have the what, Mike?
Just the poles that the light hangs off of.
Oh.
That's all it's gonna be good, and I've got one of them that's leaning really bad now.
So is this gonna sense when like a trucker's coming through and runs the red light? It's gonna delay the turning green?
It's not gonna give it, it's going to turn over. The phase is gonna turn over to move traffic, but it's gonna sense that truck or vehicle is coming, no matter how big it is, it'll pick it up from about 600 feet or 1,000 feet out.
Mhm.
And it will hold that green about 6 seconds longer,
Okay.
which is significant if you're going 50 miles an hour. That's,
But they're running
However many feet.
they're running the yellow lights is the problem.
Mhm.
So if there's one behind him, it's gonna, I mean, it's gonna keep coming. But, I mean, once it turns yellow and that turns red, that's where we were talking about there being some way, if their truck is still coming through a red light, to hold the green on the
That's what he's saying.
cross truck.
It'll still turn red, but that green will not come green until a 6-second delay.
I thought you meant it, the truck coming would have a 6-second delay for green.
it would have a longer,
A longer
it would have
green.
longer to clear through the intersection.
So it just keeps delaying the truck's already coming in green longer. Is that what you're saying?
No.
It delays the other person.
Or it delays the
We call
cross
them
traffic?
phases, phase. It would hold the green for the truck. It would hold the others for longer to give that truck longer to pass through.
So that's what I'm saying, it's still gonna have to go to the yellow light and red, and if there's another truck right behind him, I mean, how many times is it gonna do that if you've got these trucks driving 50 and won't slow down until they see a yellow light, and if they think they can beat the yellow light, they're still coming.
Well,
I mean, we need the green delayed for the cross traffic if that trucker is still coming through on a red light.
Is that 6 seconds from its cycle or 6 seconds from the time it senses that truck?
it'll hold it up to 6 seconds, because each phase is programmed with a minimum and a maximum amount of time based on the detection. Like, you're gonna get a minimum green time of 15 seconds up to a maximum of 30. So that 30 seconds at which it turns yellow, this would extend that by 6 seconds. I would need to confirm that before you.
But there's no way to stop, once that turns red, if a truck is still coming, to stop the green light from changing for the cross
You can
traffic.
extend the red time to clear the intersection in the controller. So you can adjust those settings as well.
Okay, because we don't want those cars starting if there's a truck barreling through.
Right. You can, whatever ODOT standards are, you can the all red time, you can max that out to give all phases a chance to clear.
Okay,
So that can be adjusted.
but can that be adjusted on our current system?
I bet it could be.
I think that Louise already did that.
We, Luis told us that it maxed out.
Oh,
We've
okay.
already, it's already maxed at what we can.
I believe
And
that
what
is
was you do for
correct.
that
Is it
old?
what it
So can we,
says?
will the new one offer a longer max time then?
I don't want to say that if that's not true.
That's an ODOT.
I'm just still concerned. I mean, I see the safety of leaving it green, but and that may stop some, but I'm still concerned about the ones that are gonna run through the yellow light or even barrel on through the reds.
It's the yellow
Because they
light that
can't
needs to
stop.
be extended, and then the red light, the cross traffic is what needs to be held when
Yeah.
that situation occurs, and that's when the save
But
lives.
it did sound like we're gonna be achieving that with this system.
Can you, we're only gonna get 6 seconds more on all we're gonna get, but can you, have you ever heard anybody petitioning ODOT for what we just talked about
Deviation.
leaving the maximum time, making it longer to get to, make them all 4 red, let the traffic clear out? Have you?
Not firsthand, but we can sure ask that question. We can sure.
Because, I mean, if it's for safety, I mean, if we could get a longer max time on our signal lights.
Well, even a few seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, I mean, it's not really that long to sit there. And if it clears a truck in that amount of time, that's, and saves a life, it's,
I believe that the yellow time can be adjusted. as
yellow
well.
time can be adjusted as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
Can you get more than 6 seconds out of this?
I will get good answers on all of these questions, and I'll send you guys a report that follows up on all these
Okay.
points,
Perfect.
100%.
One thing, are you, okay. One thing I think the council needs to keep in mind, and my bypass guy is not here tonight. But one thing that I think is significant, we've, as you know, Casey's Quick Stop is coming in. Just this last week, they've adjusted their plan to add 2 more diesel islands and a weigh station. And I don't think that happens by accident. I think I've seen enough data that you can buy. You can buy data now for phone pings and you name it. I'm sure they've got satellite with the way they do GPS on trucks now. I'm sure they've probably bought data to know that truck traffic in Seminole is increasing, and that's why they're doing this. I suspect that once the weigh station is in, that we're going to see another increase in truck traffic. So I think it's good. It's great time to plan for the future, especially with this overlay coming. It's a good time for us to keep in the front of our minds what we want to do in terms of signalization. So.
Down on, you were talking about Broadway and Milt Phillips back down here. Are we doing any turn signals or left turn signals on Highway 99? especially coming from the north, turning down towards Main Street, I always turn a block ahead of time because you can't see traffic coming up that hill. But if we had technology like this that could see the traffic and give us a turn signal, that would, I mean, I don't know how well it would help, or I don't know if we have a lot of accidents there, but I know it's always a concern to me, and sometimes I get stuck there through several lights, if I don't turn early.
We had 4 accidents there last year at Broadway.
Talking about a protected left turn.
Yeah, a
Going
protected
south
left turn,
99, Turning to the left.
Yeah, going left, yeah, towards,
And that's something that could be done.
because we don't have a left turn only over there, and sometimes, I mean, like I said, coming north, I mean, coming south, coming from the north to the south and making a turn down towards Main Street is the problem that I always have. When I'm coming in from the south and going home, I don't hardly have a problem turning right there, turning left right there, but it's always the opposite direction.
What are,
Approach ODOT.
what are Casey, I mean, I know this is kind of a little off the topic, but what are Casey's plans for fixing the turn? I mean, I can't see Seminole running those smaller turn lanes in and out of there all day long. Are they gonna plan to put in a center turn strip there or something? I mean, what, because that seems like that's gonna cause a big issue through there with trucks going on and off the road right there all the time.
It's a great question. They had a professional third-party traffic study done. They've visited extensively with ODOT, and right now, ODOT and the traffic study do not point to the fact that it's needed. So there may be a point in the future that we go back and with new data and say, yeah, it's time for you to put in a turn lane. Right now, it is not.
I still think we're gonna have to lower the speed limits through there too, especially when that happens. You're not gonna be able to get on and off the road there with truckers coming in and off.
All it takes is a request.
I think we're gonna have I think we need to drop it going through north and south also anyway. I think people, I think it's 45 and 50 going east and west, and I think part of that is it's too fast and not having the time to slow down those big rigs.
You don't have any more questions for Walter?
Yeah, I did have one, real quick one. The yield making right-hand turns, that won't be affected by the stoplights. They're still gonna just be a yield turn, right?
That would not be affected.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and I will follow up.
All right, do we have any appearances or petitions from the audience for the city council?
Thought you came down here just to see us. Oh, okay.
Amy Brett, Seminole Chamber. I just wanted to invite and remind you guys that Tuesday, January the 30th is our annual banquet, and we'll present Citizen of the Year, David Bourne Award, and if you guys would like to attend, let us know, and we'd be glad to get you guys to come. So if anybody else would like to come, we have tickets and tables, so let us know. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, under bids, item number 1, consideration and possible action to approve accepting the high bid of $400 from Kevin Lynch for a 1993 Chevrolet pickup, serial number 1GECE14Z6PZ207980, recently declared a surplus.
Move to accept.
Second.
Jay, could I get a roll call?
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Hopper.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 2, consideration and possible action to approve accepting the high bid of $4,850 from Gary Grant for various obsolete equipment and vehicles recently declared a surplus for the attached list in the agenda packet.
Move to approve.
Second?
Jay, roll call?
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Hopland.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, under resolutions, item number 3, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2018-01, a resolution approving the cooperative intergovernmental agreement between the City of Seminole Fire Department and the Bureau of Indian Affairs for the purpose of protecting the natural resources, forests, and wildland.
Is this something we're already doing?
Yes.
Oh,
They pay us $600 to go fight wildfire on tribal land, so.
I'll
BIA
move to
land.
approve that.
Second.
Jay, roll call?
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under current business, item number 4, consideration and possible action to approve the contract with Civic Ready for early warning notification services at a cost of $5,420 for the first year and $4,540 each year thereafter unless canceled, subject to an annual 5% price increase.
Isn't this the issue we discussed some
Yes.
time back? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not really just early warning, though. It's also citywide notices.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I move to approve that.
Second.
Jay, roll call?
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 5, consideration and possible action to approve the agreement between the Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the City of Seminole for a left turn lane in front of the new high school to be added on Highway US 270, located .7 miles east of State Highway 3 East Junction. Can we do that before we actually annex it?
That's what I was thinking.
Or do we have to get the county's approval until it's annexed?
They're offering it, ODOT's offering it, they're currently responsible for it, so what we're doing is agreeing to maintain the right-of-way. So
Okay.
I think I think we're gonna be fine in doing it.
Okay. I have a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, Jay?
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 6, consideration and possible action to approve the use of contractor services for special road and/or emergency projects for, but not limited to, the construction, repair, or replacement of city streets and other incidentals by soliciting sealed bids for all necessary labor, equipment, and materials. An example of the contract utilized in past years for securing such services is attached.
We have specific projects that we're talking about here.
Not tonight. We do, from time to time, have full streets. I can't remember, Coolidge would be a prime example when we overlaid that. You know, we do from time to time have full street projects. This allows us to save a lot of time, and
Is this a-
it gets us locked in on a price that's usually a lot bigger savings than we would have had we put out there. For example, if we earmark $400,000 to do Grisso, that tells the contractors, hey, there's $400,000 to be had, so they bid $485, and then what this does is it gives us a quantity price, and it's locked in, and we've had very good luck with Silver Star. I'm not saying that that's who's gonna win this, but just that process of having it done in advance has done very well for us.
Yeah, we've done this before with Silver Star, haven't we?
Yes, several times.
Okay.
We've probably been 12 years that we've done this.
Is there a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Jay, roll call?
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, on the addenda, current business item number 7, consideration and possible action to approve the mutual assistance agreement between the Seminole State College and the City of Seminole.
What's a mutual assistance agreement?
Just that we can help them and they can help us in various situations. I didn't see anything in the agreement that brought any question to mind that would alarm me.
Okay.
Yeah, I move to approve that.
I'd second it.
Jay, roll call?
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 8, discussion and possible action regarding the traffic signals at highways 9 and 99.
I feel comfortable about what what Walter described to
I
us.
like the solution. I'd like a little bit of time to find the money to do that.
I can create a proposal as well and get you,
Yeah,
you've been doing a lot of business with Great Pines, so I'll get a firm number.
okay. That would help me.
All the questions we discussed, I'll give that to Mike.
Okay,
So should we table this then?
I
We
think so.
table it or take no action, or?
What do you need?
Can we, Chris made he mentioned about lowering that speed limit. Is there an action? Can we take
It
action?
just says regarding the traffic signals.
Yeah, that'd be a separate, wouldn't it?
I mean, at one point, when we lowered it a little bit into Walmart, I thought they came back and told us we could lower it to whatever we wanted to.
Well, once it becomes, this other, Bourne Boulevard, when it becomes the city, we can lower that to whatever we want.
Yeah, but I thought when we did that, we only lowered it to 45. But I thought when we did that one, they kind of came back and told us we could kind of do what we wanted to, but I may be remembering incorrectly.
I looked up some of the information when we was talking about the turning lane
Mhm.
and some of the correspondence with ODOT. I didn't see that. I did see,
Well, this came later. We just changed that 5 miles within the last couple of years. That, I mean, is when we changed that there right in front of Walmart to 45. That's only happened within like the last 2 years, I think.
I think ODOT will want a traffic study if you want to change the speed limit on a
Yeah. I don't think it's our discretion. I think it's something
and they'll
that
do
we
the
have,
traffic study for free.
has to be approved by ODOT.
They've done them for us in the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need to put that on the next council meeting?
What we'll probably do is ask ODOT to start the traffic study. If they need council action, then we'll put it on there.
Okay. All right, so do you want to table or take no action on this,
Table.
Brad? I'm sorry.
Well,
Move to table it.
yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Jay, roll call?
Chris Hansen.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Ken Poplin.
Yes.
John Franklin.
Yes.
Motion to table passes.
Okay, under reports, city manager.
Yes, I just want to point out that I know everybody's a little nervous about the distinguished gentleman on the back row. If you haven't met him in the past, he is very distinguished. Mitch Enos is the president of the chamber, and we appreciate all your efforts, buddy. Thank you for coming tonight. I want to make a couple of observations. Number one, WCA is underway on their plan to get our equipment purchased and our trash cans replaced, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of that. They got bogged down over the holidays. You probably realize that, hey, my regular trash day was backed up a day, maybe a day and a half. But I think they're making the efforts, and so far I'm not too displeased. We got a lot of calls about, hey, I was supposed to be picked up on Christmas Day and they didn't show up. That happens every year, so I'm not too alarmed with what's going on thus far. Several days ago, well, more and more I see on the news where we've got high-speed pursuits, and it brought to mind, especially after we had one in Seminole just a few days ago. It started about the high school, and I think it ended up about Coolidge and in the Coolidge area, probably up by Sharon's house. But it did make us revisit our pursuit policy, and I think I need to say I don't give our police officers enough credit often enough, but they did a fantastic job on this one in particular. They followed the policy to the T, and I know we had some citizens worried about speeding through the neighborhood at 10:30 at night, but our guys followed the policy. They did not, in my opinion, ever jeopardize anybody's life, but they got a bad guy off the street, and that's the thing. When those pursuits start, you're never really sure what precipitated it. Is he leaving a crime scene? What's going on? So we've got a very specific policy, and I would encourage you, if you haven't read it, you're welcome to come read it. But there's a lot of different things that come into play when those officers are deciding whether he's going to pursue or not. And if it's a felony pursuit, this one happened to be, then he's going to go for the stop. And until there's obvious signs that somebody's life, others, bystanders' lives are in danger, and then they can back off. But we've got I feel like we've got a very solid policy. There were probably some tweaking we could do to customize it to us. But so far, I'm really pleased, and I'm really pleased with your efforts and the way that your officers have handled themselves over the last 6 months to a year. They've been making a big dent, and I just want to say that I appreciate it. I really do. They've been doing some great work. Other than that, if you notice, I'm a little distraught today. My Sooners had a tough time in the last month, and I don't know. I feel like there's maybe Seminole, we can do something to alleviate the pain. We may want to, Amy, is the next parade, could we have Mike Stoops over to be the parade marshal? Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I'll end with that.
Where did the Cowboys end up in the race?
The Goatee Bowl.
I didn't even watch it. I'm a Sooners guy.
Yeah. Just because you're writing those checks, though, you.
They got a W, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, city attorney. Larry.
Well, I want to talk about women and girls, our best investment for the future to eliminate or minimize, I doubt we'll ever eliminate it, but to minimize violent crime, social ills that plague us all that we seem not to be able to do much about, begins with, to minimize that, it begins with helping women and girls and other children live in happy, healthy homes. So if you know someone that is barely making ends meet, and a single mother, children in their home, help them out. See what they need, see how you can help.
Okay, Stephanie.
I wanted to also say something really cool about the Seminole Police Department, because I was in Mazio's the other day, and there was a young lady that was working the window, and she thanked an officer. I couldn't tell who the officer was at the window, but he was coming through the drive-thru, and she said, thank you. And he's like, and she said, and she had made a comment to him about how he had arrested her and had treated her with respect. And how she had changed her life because of that action. And I was really impressed with our police officers at that moment. And so I mean, it was a bad time for her, but the respect that the officers gave her at that moment was a really, quite awesome thing. So I was, I was really impressed, because you don't usually hear that from a person who's been arrested, and to thank the police officer who helped turn her life around. And I was kind of like, wow. And it was really nice. And we can't thank the officers enough in this town for what they do, and the way they put their lives on the line for us all the time. And also, I wanted to just give our town a big shout out, because we had COCA. Community Action had called me right before Christmas, and they had a few families that didn't qualify. They were falling through the loops, and they had 4 specific families, and they all had weird issues. Like, I think one of them had been denied service from their tribe because they had lied in the past or something like that. And there were several little things like that had happened, but our community still came through. And there were some of them that had children in the family, and our community still came through. And there were 4 families. Some of them went to the interfaith And then the other ones were just, people that had just missed the loops. Our community came through, and we prepared 4 food baskets along with gifts for the children, the families that had children. But also that we came up with 4 extra food baskets for Christmas. And it was really nice because they had some people that just so happened to call on Christmas Eve and not have anything. And so Coca was able, through those donations from the community, we're able to give those out to the families with no questions asked, no additional information needed. They just gave those boxes out. So it was really nice to be able to call out to the community for help, and Seminole just rose to the occasion and helped them out, without any. And then some of the people had even said something to the effect of, well, it's a good thing I'm not judged on my past mistakes. And I was really impressed with our community with that kind of support. And just thank you, Seminole.
I have nothing.
Tim?
I have a real short, thanks to Mike Grant. I had a couple of people in the ward that, on their streets, there had been some pretty big holes right on the sides, and they contacted me, and I contacted Mike, and it was 3 or 4 days. I got 2 phone calls from people saying thank you for fixing them, so I just wanted to pass that on to Mike. Thanks for doing that. Been there for a while. And I heard 3 or 4 good comments about our new code officer, talked to some people, so I think he's working out good, and I think thanks for that. That's all.
All right, just thanks to all of our citizens and our staff. Every time I call the city, you guys are always quick to take care of whatever I need, so thank you. And with that, we have an executive session on the agenda. Consideration and possible action to enter into executive session under Oklahoma Statute 25, Article 307B4, confidential communications between a public body and its attorney concerning a pending investigation, claim, or action. Have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Jay, roll call.
Great.
It's okay.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.